the Senate side of the Capitol complex, where just yesterday, FBI Director Chris Wray, he was grilled over how the FBI has been politicized and the DOJ weaponized and his bureau weaponized. Take a look.
I think the Department of Justice has been profoundly politicized under Attorney General Merrick Garland. And I think the FBI has as well. And unfortunately, I think you've been unwilling to stand up to senior career officials in the FBI who's allowed the FBI to be politicized. I have a responsibility to the FBI, not to allow it to be a partisan tool and a partisan weapon. The testimony, and by the way, the FBI has done nothing.
And I have not, and I will not.
Have you opened an investigation into whether the Attorney General lied under oath to Congress and whether the Attorney General obstructed justice?
I'm not going to go down that road here.
I know you're not. That's the point. Nobody thinks you've opened an investigation because you're not willing to.
All right, joining us now with more, Texas Senator Ted Cruz is with us. Senator, thank you. Just to dovetail off our last segment, you asked Wray, he wouldn't answer your question if the FBI tried to ascertain Joe and Hunter Biden's location when that WhatsApp message that I read in my opening monologue was sent. Also, you ripped Wray for not answering questions about the Hunter investigation, and you ripped him for how the Bureau has been politicized and weaponized. What is your take? Is this FBI director involved in a cover-up for the Bidens? Is this a dual justice system? I thought Lady Justice was to be blind.
Well, I think she's blind, deaf, and crippled right now, and I think it is a sad situation. This Department of Justice, this FBI, is the most political, it is the most partisan, it is the most weaponized we've ever seen. As you noted in your opening monologue, you played that WhatsApp where Hunter says, "I'm sitting next to my father," and he threatens a Chinese communist with retribution from daddy unless he sends millions of dollars. Now, Gary Shapley, one of the two IRS whistleblowers, said the investigators had a very obvious way to check it. They wanted the GPS data. Was Hunter sitting next to Joe Biden? Both of them have phones. You can ascertain where they were the instant that text message was sent. Gary Shapley said the Biden DOJ blocked that investigation, said you're not allowed to get Hunter or Joe Biden's GPS data. You're not allowed to inquire. No questions about the big guy. So I asked Chris Wray, did the FBI try to get the GPS data to determine whether this was, in fact, a bribery shakedown? Chris Wray's answer was, well, I'm not going to talk to you about an open investigation. It's the biggest lie. It's the biggest shell game. They claim it's an open investigation, but they're not investigating anything. They refuse to investigate anything. And when there's accountability, look, we've got major whistleblowers saying the Attorney General has committed multiple felonies, and the Attorney General stonewalls, the FBI stonewalls, and Chris Wray's answers yesterday were disgraceful. He believes he owes no accountability to Congress and no accountability to the American people. And one of the things I shared with him as I travel the country, I am regularly approached by FBI agents who are horrified by what's happening in their agency. They're honorable men and women. They want to defend the rule of law. They want to catch bad guys. And instead, the political leadership at DOJ is turning them into a cover-up patrol for the Biden White House.
I want to get your reaction, Senator, if I can. And these comments by Christopher Wray talking about how he's never seen the terror threat on every level as bad as it is now, saying, blinking lights are everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, why has his silence been deafening when it came to Joe Biden's 8+ million illegal immigrants? And now we know where they're coming from. Iran, Syria, Egypt, Afghanistan, China, Russia, tens and tens of thousands. Did you ever get an answer out of him? Now he's finally warning us, after all these people are here unvetted, that the terror threat has never been greater in history? What is your reaction to that? To me, that's a dereliction of duty. I know he was busy looking at, into moms and dads at school board meetings and going after pro-life protesters, people that were doing it peacefully. And I know he was, really looking hard at that Hunter Biden laptop and warning big tech. Why hasn't he been dealing with that threat issue?
Listen, the FBI has stonewalled on these questions for a very long time, and it was, about a year ago that Chris Wray was going before Congress saying the biggest threat we have is crazy white nationalists. Come on, it's not like there's a surge of Nazis running around. They're idiots and bigots. But you want to know what the biggest threat is? It's Hamas terrorists and Hezbollah terrorists coming across our southern border, seeking to carry out a terror attack. And I got to tell you, when I was down at the border just a few weeks ago, our Border Patrol agents are very worried about it. We've got a war in Israel. And when I see Chris Wray finally, the FBI finally acknowledging that terror threat, what that tells me, Sean, is they are seeing so much evidence. I think we're at a greater risk for a major terror attack now than we've been any time since September 11th. And I got to tell you, I did a classified briefing today from the administration. The number of special interest aliens from dangerous terrorist countries has skyrocketed under Joe Biden, and they still refuse to secure the border.
And if anything happens to any American, he will have blood on his hands.
Yes.
We have been warning and warning.
Absolutely right.
By the way, congratulations. Your book, by the way, we'll put it up. It is called Unwoke: How to Defeat Cultural Marxism in America. Senator Ted Cruz, thank you.